would I put this here?
Throw it.
Throw at it?
Throw over it with the
Oh,
curveball.
now we're getting somewhere, right? So let's think about this, okay? I like to think when it comes to pitching. If you're throwing a curveball and it breaks halfway there, is it easier or harder for the hitter to hit it?
Easier.
Easier, right? So if we can get, the further we can get the ball to break, the more it looks like a fastball, right? And the harder it is to hit. So let's say this. Let's say the ball gets over this and has to end up in the strike zone. Okay? So that hitter's in the box. So from that point, it's going from my head to the knees, so to say, in about a fourth of the distance. Whatever that distance is that you're pitching at. That's where you want to get to a point, is to be able to get it there. Okay? And what I like to do is, like, when you see that, okay, it's easy to just flip it over, but you want to reach out as far as you can, almost like you're dunking a basketball. Fastball, fastball, boom. And it forces you to get extension. Does that make sense? So that's something you guys can incorporate when you're working on breaking balls, whether it's taking turns or mass practice or something like that. The closer we can get the break to happen to the hitter, the harder it is. If that ball's coming in there, coming down, it's a lot harder to pick up. Okay, especially that's when you see those guys buckle out of the way, or knee bucklers and things like that, or they back out of the way and it drops in for a strike. The ones that break halfway, that you kind of guide in there, you start the break from here, the big loopers. Does that make sense? Okay, back to the ball. That was one way to throw it. Well, I do want to talk about cutters shortly, but a different breaking ball. This plays a little bit safer, maybe easier for guys, maybe a little bit more difficult depending on the size of their hands or if they can do it. Okay, watch closely. We're sliding up. Normal curveball, standard curveball, we'll say is about there. Fastball, fastball, boom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide up further, so my tip of my middle finger. Okay, does everybody have a ball? You grab a ball so you can feel this out. Yeah, that's fine. I brought those over for us. So the tip of our middle finger, okay, is on the bottom right of that horseshoe, bottom left. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, I'm going to rotate the ball just a little bit this way. I don't know which way that is, but that way. So the tip of my finger now grabs that seam. Everybody see that? Got it? Got it, but keep the finger inside the seam. Inside. One more fingertip inside. Rotate it just a little bit there. Right finger here, inside. Get rid of that finger. Okay, and you're holding way too much in the fingertips. Let it touch some fingers here. Okay. Now take your pointer finger off the ball. Okay, and you can imagine that this ball almost is like your hand here. This webbing of your hand is like the equator of the ball. Does that make sense? So think about this. It's a safer breaking pitch to throw. Instead of, let's say, snapping our wrist or trying to overthink it, I'm going to throw this like a fastball. Instead of throwing through it, I'm going to take my hand, almost like I had a can of soda or a can of pop or something, and I go boom, and I slam it right down. So I'm not doing this action. I'm literally taking a can of pop, and I'm going boom. Okay? Now when I do this, I'm pinching tip of my middle finger, tip of the thumb. Okay? And by doing that, I still have a little bit of space over here. When I pinch that, if you pinch something and this part goes over, what does it do? You know how you can kind of create some revolution? If you hold something here and spin a globe, it creates revolution. That's what we're doing. So I have this grip. Who has a glove on? Well, Coach, you have a glove, right? I'm just going to flip it to you, but I want you to see the rotation of the ball. And I'm just going to go straight through. Okay. Coming around there, a little bit below. I'm going to go straight through. Whoop! Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Does everybody see that rotation? Look how I'm finishing. I'm not forcing it to come like this. I'm literally finishing. I can still throw through, but it's like I'm taking that top. Boom. Like that. Does that make sense? Little bit different concept. At first, you have to understand the concept. Does everybody understand the concept? You pitch the sides, and you get it to just tumble over without forcing that. It's a way to create a lot of revolution, a lot of spin. So we're getting a little bit getting away from that 4 seam, but it's a different grip. When you're creating a ton of revolution just by arm speed, not by force, which is that. You guys want to try a couple of those? It may squib on you. It may do some, other things. Maybe we can have them throw and everybody kind of throw a couple pitches over here. Or, why don't you start over there? I don't care how late you guys stay here if you guys work on it. Throw those pitches with it there. Don't get hit in the teeth. It picks off. But feel that out. Middle finger this. You may not even need the pointer finger. Take the can. Boom. All right, let's give it a shot.